What's up, guys? This is Jeff from Sorta Healthy, and today we are back to talking about session design or programming as a personal trainer. And today we are focusing on older clients, seniors, or the elderly. To be honest, I really didn't know what to title this video. What do you guys refer to older people as? Older people, seniors, the elderly, or something else? Make sure to let me know down in the comments, guys. Anyways, if you're a personal trainer for any meaningful length of time, you will absolutely be working with some older clients. Now, when I say older, what age am I exactly referring to? Well, in this case, I don't think that any specific age exists. I've trained some 70-year-olds that move like 40-year-olds, and I've definitely trained some 40-year-olds that move like 70-year-olds. So because of that, I don't want to put an exact age on what an older client really is. For the purpose of this video, let's just say that an older client is someone that's at least 55 years old and has some underlying conditions that make us have to be a little bit more cautious when training them. I would say that about 50% of my clients fall into this category. And like I mentioned before, if you want to pursue personal training as a career, you're certainly going to have some clients in this category as well. Before we get into working with this demographic, all I ask is that you guys do like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. This helps the channel to grow, which does allow me to make more free content for all of you. Thank you very much for the support, everyone. It's very helpful to myself, Alexis, and the channel. Before completely getting into the nitty-gritty, I should also say that I made a video pretty similar to this one, and not even that long ago. I recently made a video on how to not train obese clients. Obviously, obese clients are different than older clients, but these two demographics share a lot of things in common when it comes to program design. So because of that, I would definitely recommend that you guys all check out this video up here in addition to today's video. The advice that I give in this video will obviously be useful for working with obese clients and older clients as well. I mean, obviously I'm biased, but I do think it's a pretty good video, so it's probably worth a watch either way. Anyway, back to today's topic, training older clients. My first strategy in working with older clients is to take them through a proper consultation and assessment before you do anything else. You absolutely need to make sure that you fill out the PAR-Q, the health history questionnaire, and the informed consent with your client. With your older clients, filling out these forms arguably becomes more important than ever. Older people are more likely to have physical limitations, so this comes as no surprise. If your client says yes to anything in the PAR-Q or has anything questionable come up on the health history questionnaire, you should reach out to that client's medical professional or doctor, probably via email, but phone calls work too. From there, ask that medical professional for clearance to begin a training program with you. If your client would rather contact their doctor on their own, that's fine too. Assuming that we have the go-ahead from their doctor, or if they don't have any conditions for us to be cautious of, the next thing for us to do with our client is an assessment. The assessment gives us a baseline from which we can show our client how much progress they've made over time. I like my clients to do assessments about every 6 weeks so we can both see how they're progressing. Even more importantly than that, it will show both of us where they are strong and where they are not. A good assessment will also reveal other things like muscle imbalances as well. Of course, knowing all of these details will allow us to program for our client more effectively. And it will definitely help us to avoid any exercises that would otherwise be problematic for our client to be doing. Injury prevention is huge with older clients, so they're really going to appreciate all of this attention to detail. If you guys want to see exactly how I do a personal training consultation, make sure to check out this video. And if you want to see an assessment, make sure to check out this video. If you need consultation forms, assessment forms, or PAR-Q forms, or the health history questionnaire, or informed consent forms, you can get all of those for free by going to this link in the video description. My next strategy when working with older clients is to start nutrition on day one. I always start off the nutrition discussion in my first initial meeting with my client, which is the consultation. Nutrition is an ongoing discussion from that day forward for as long as I'm working with this client. Now, this should be true for the majority of your personal training clients, but the way you go about things with your older clients might be a bit different compared to some of your younger clients. Before anything else, let's talk about what you can legally do nutrition-wise as a personal trainer. We are now looking at a map of what you can legally do nutrition-wise as a trainer in the United States. In green states, as a personal trainer, you can do quite a lot. Basically, just don't write full meal plans or do nutrition with anyone who has underlying conditions. Everyone else you can work with. Yellow is pretty much the same. Orange and red states, yeah, you guys can't do as much legally to help your clients with nutrition. If you live in a country other than the United States, make sure that you know your country's nutrition laws because they do vary country to country. So now we've gotten the legal stuff out of the way, the best thing that you can do with your personal training client is to get them on some kind of food tracking software or food journaling system. Getting your client to record food for a few weeks, but possibly longer, is the thing that is likely to get them the best results in the long run. This is most true for your clients who are focused on weight loss, but this will still be true for clients with just about any health or fitness related goal. For most clients, the best thing that you can do here is recommend that they use an app like MyFitnessPal or MyMacros+. These apps will do a lot of the work for your client, and they make it pretty easy to record your food. It's also pretty easy for you, the trainer, to monitor their food journal this way. Unfortunately, your older clients are going to be a little bit less likely to have success with these apps or even just try them out in the first place. This is because oftentimes they're just not as good with technology. For these clients, still try to get them to use apps like the ones we discussed before, but be ready and willing to pivot to a different option if they're not finding these food journaling applications useful. Recording food via paper and pencil is an option that's available, and it is one that many of my older clients still choose. A portioning guide like this one from Precision Nutrition is another great option. I'll leave a link for this one down in the video description. Ultimately, 90-something% of clients coming to you for weight loss are simply consuming too many calories. Weight loss does come down to calories in and calories out. So if they're consuming too much, then nothing you do as a trainer is going to offset that. Using journaling methods like we talked about before will help to hold clients accountable and keep them in a slight caloric deficit when weight loss is the goal. Even though food journaling or portion controlling is the thing that's likely to get your clients the best results, it's definitely not the only thing that you should use with your clients. Smaller strategies that lead to victories and confidence boosts should also be used with your clients. I've mentioned this in previous videos, but it's important, so I'll mention it again here. Maybe you want to try and get your client to drink at least 8 ounces of water at every meal. Maybe you want your client to stop consuming processed junk and to eat more nutrient-rich, non-processed foods. Maybe you want to get your client in the habit of meal prepping and pre-portioning out all their meals every Sunday. Like I said before, make sure you do use some of these small strategies with your clients, especially your older clients. Because when clients do achieve these non-scale victories, their confidence really does go up and their results do improve over time. Only work on 1 or 2 of these strategies at any given time though, because if you try and throw too many of these strategies at your client at once, it's going to be overload and they're not going to get anything done. Strategy number 3 is to stick to slow and steady compound movements and to avoid high impact exercises. This one's obvious enough, but it does need to be stated anyways. Compound movements should be the foundation of just about any program that you design for a client. Exercises like squats, deadlifts, lunges, bench press, rows, overhead presses, and a bunch of others should make up the majority of the exercises that you do with just about anyone. Now, in the case of working with older clients, most likely you are going to have to modify these exercises more than you would have to working with younger clients. For some clients, getting up and down from a bench might be better than a squat. For other clients, a full push-up may not be an option, so you'll have to do kneeling, bar, or wall push-ups. There are endless exercise modifications that you could choose for your clients, so make sure that you always stay communicating with your client so that you know if anything does need to be modified. We'll talk more about that communication stuff later. For all exercises, start very basic and easy. In the beginning, it's definitely a good thing for your exercises to be a little bit on the easy side to help prevent injury. For lower body movements, make sure your older clients can perform exercises like squats, deadlifts, and bridges well and pain-free before you start giving them single leg exercises like lunges and split squats. Some of your older clients would probably be best off not doing some of these single-legged exercises, and that's fine. Talk it over with them and figure out what works best for them. Not as much will change with your older clients' upper body and core routines. You may have to do more upper body and core exercises seated depending on their limitations. And it's certainly a good idea to be aware of any past upper body injuries that your older clients may have. But obviously every client is different, and beyond that, every injury is different too. So it's not like I can give you a method that you can use with all of your older clients that's going to work perfectly for all of the upper body work that you do with them. Except actually I kind of can. At least I can get you most of the way there. I would highly recommend that for all of your clients, but even more importantly for your older clients, to do more pulling exercises than pushing exercises. I myself think a 2-to-1 pull to push ratio works really well with personal training clients. An example of this would be for every set of bench press I do 2 sets of rows, or I do a set of rows and a set of reverse flies. Again, one exercise is focusing on the push, and 2 exercises are focusing on the pull or the posterior muscles on the body. The vast majority of your older clients are going to have neck, back, and shoulder pain that comes from a lifetime of leaning forward, kind of like I'm doing right now. To help them deal with this, first off, try and help them assume better posture throughout their day-to-day life. Also, try to get them to stretch out some of these tight anterior muscles like the pecs. And then like we said before, try and get them to perform lots of pulling exercises, which are going to help pull them back into proper posture, strengthening their neck, their back, and their shoulders. Like I mentioned before, the core work that you do with your older clients probably won't be too different than the core work that you do with your younger clients. Just remember to start things off a little bit easier and to keep things a little bit slower and to keep things a little bit steadier. Strategy 4 is to stick to the basics and to keep your workouts varied, but not too varied. This is another strategy that I think would apply to all clients, but I do think that there are a few things that are unique to working with older clients here as well. First off, do the most effective exercises, which we already said before are the compound movements. Don't feel the need to include a bunch of less effective exercises into your routines just for variety's sake. Include these accessory movements into your clients' workouts where they make sense and they complement the existing compound movements that are already in there. If I'm being honest, I myself sometimes feel the urge to mix in doofy exercises when I'm working with some of my older clients. I think I feel this way in particular when working with my older clients because they are oftentimes more limited in what exercises that they can do. Sometimes these older clients' routines do look very similar week to week. However, assuming that my client is getting the results that they're after and that they're also happy with how the workouts are going, there's really no reason for me to mix in a bunch of stupid things just to mix it up. The reality is that older clients really do have a higher likelihood of injury. So we really do need to stick to the basics and what we know works with these older clients. We really shouldn't be tempted to do anything fancy or risky in these situations. I also think that if you switch up your clients' routines too often, they do have a tough time learning the basics. Teaching someone to master the squat is pretty easy if you work on it a little bit every single week. But if you're not consistent in your teaching, there's a good chance your clients won't be consistent in their learning. So make sure your clients master the basics and make sure that you don't fall into that trap. My last strategy for today is to give constant feedback to your older clients in person. Again, do this with all of your clients. Your older clients will probably find this in-person communication even more valuable than your younger clients though. This is because older people do put a higher value on in-person, face-to-face communication. Or at least that's my theory. It definitely seems to be true in practice. When your older client walks through the door, ask them by their name how they're doing. Ask them how their weekend was. Ask them how they're feeling today. Ask them if they're sore anywhere. Once you're working out with your client, make sure to ask them how challenging some of the exercises are. I've said it in previous videos, but I like to ask clients if they found the exercise easy, medium, or hard, because that gives me useful feedback on whether or not I need to increase the difficulty of the exercise or decrease the difficulty or keep it the exact same. Ask them where they feel different exercises. Is your client actually feeling those hamstring curls in their hamstrings? I don't know. You have to ask them. You got to find out. If you see them rubbing a certain area during the session, ask them, Tom, is your knee okay? I see you kind of rubbing your knee a little bit over there. Tom is our pretend client's name, by the way. Anyway, you get the idea. Always ask lots of questions and always keep these questions kind of fun and positive. And I want to repeat again that you should be asking all of your clients these questions and many different questions like them. I think it's reasonable to say that the clients who are the best communicators are the ones who are going to, on average, be the most successful in the field. And the way in which you do that, especially with your older clients, is going to be by asking lots of questions and responding to their feedback with professionalism and kindness. I think that's a wrap. You guys have any questions on anything that we talked about today? If you do, make sure to let me know down in the comments and I will answer them for you. If you haven't liked the video or subscribed to the channel yet, please consider doing so because it does help the channel to grow, which does allow me to make more free content for all of you. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I will see you in the next video.